Hello, my name is Candice and I handle the design part of the business.
My name is Margaret and I handle the marketing part of the business.
We used to be lost in law school and now we are found in freelancing.
Okay, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff here. Freelancing, branding, business, pricing, mindset, productivity, how to get your clients.
Oh my god, you talk too much.
Okay, we're not starting yet, right?
Can we just tell them what the podcast title is?
This is Article and Design,
a podcast made by Filipino freelancers
for Filipino freelancers. For this episode, guys, we have Tanya Loyola. Tanya is a good friend of mine for many years now. We know each other since college days, and of course, we met there at the uni. And she strikes me as a friendly, weird, in a positive way, and a smart ass person. And of course, until now, we're friends. Also, Tanya worked in the BPO industry for a few years and also worked as an immigration officer back in the Philippines. She has a spirit of entrepreneurship and a passion for plants within her that is rooted from her family. She now resides in the beautiful country of Australia, managing her creative pursuit called Plant Your Enthusiasm. If you love plants and loves to know how to grow them, you may go check out Plant Your Enthusiasm on Instagram and say hi to Tanya. So Tanya, thanks for being on the show. We are excited having you here. My dear friend from college.
Hi, Margaret.
All right. So Tanya, our first question for you is, can you tell us about you and what you do?
I used to be a language trainer for the BPO, and then so being a trainer, you get a few different skill sets that become marketable online as a freelancer, because a lot of people want your English skills or your ability to teach. Probably started my intro to freelancing. It wasn't really a serious thing, freelancing, for me when I started, because I was really still thinking about being an employee or like formal or employment in a conventional sense where you go into an office and like clock in from 8 to 5. So I did a lot of different jobs, such as teaching, being a government employee and stuff like that. But at the same time, because I had a lot of friends who were really into freelancing stuff, they seem to have a lot of interesting stories about what they do, and I feel like they had more room to express themselves and to do things that they wanted to do. So I thought, well, it doesn't really hurt to just keep that window open. But at the moment, since like I mentioned, I just moved to Australia, this is when your openness to freelancing and entrepreneurship really comes in handy, because at the moment I'm not really employed in a conventional sense.
That's actually a very nice input, Tanya. No? Kasi they said some people will think that because of this lockdown, because of this global health crisis, it's the end. It's like the end of everything. So your life is will be on a full stop. But actually, it's not. This is actually the best time for you to unleash all those creative juices and pursuits and all those hobbies or passion that you've been wanting to really start. And then moving from one country to the other country, it will really push you more to actually use all those mga passion or skills na meron ka, especially in freelancing. So yeah, that's great, Tanya. So yeah, our next question is, what was your aha moment? Or can you describe the time you realized you wanted to become an entrepreneur?
I guess because my family has always had a business, and then like my mom and my grandma have always been into selling plants. So I feel like they've always involved me since I was a child. So they were able to train and brainwash me into doing it.
I like that.
So they started, the expression "start them young." They probably implied that on me. I don't think I really had an aha moment, because I've always felt like it was something that you can do, that you should do. And I've always thought that it should be something that I would always try to do, at least. I think I got my first business permit in the Philippines when I was early 20s. Although at the time, there were so many things that I needed to learn. Given that you're so young, you don't understand a lot of things just yet. When you're 20, you're fresh out of uni. You're always you're still trapped in the mindset where you're supposed to think of getting a job.
Yeah.
Half of me really wanted employment in a conventional sense, and half of me wanted to be an entrepreneur. So it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true, guys. Because as I've said in the intro, I've known Tanya since like college days. So I'm aware also of her family background as well, and she's already accustomed to entrepreneurship, diba, Tan? So it's really good that, as I've said, it's already rooted in her family, yung passion for entrepreneurship. Then, so yeah, that's so nice, Tan, because there are some people na they're not being aware that there's other side of the story. There's entrepreneurship as well, aside from the conventional sense of employment. That life is just not about it, that you go to uni, then straight out of uni and you need to apply for a job, and etc. etc. I can't blame them because that's how we are wired since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Our system is like that. When we were young, okay, the only way for you to be successful is when you finish college, get a degree and get a job, go to the corporate or whatever. Also in my case, diba, that you have to proceed with like medicine or etc. Parang ganun din. But yeah, I like that what you said, that there was no aha moment, but you said that it's been there. You are already aware that there's another side of life, which is entrepreneurship. Hindi naman siguro brainwash, but you're seeing, actually. Siguro in a way, brainwash din. But you're seeing the positive side of it, diba? Na, hey, I can also be an entrepreneur. And that's so young, Tan. 20 years old, you already have your first experience in business.
It was a long time ago, and I guess I should be proud of that. But
yeah. Can you tell us about your first, like, a business venture, if you don't mind? What was it? Like, you're young, then ano yung naisip mo?
Yeah, so
yeah,
I wanted to start my own plant shop in Davao. But at the time, I didn't realize that you had to be there full time. It's difficult when you have one person, you can't manage them yet.
Yeah.
You can't manage them because, one, you lack the experience in managing people.
Yeah.
And two, because I wanted to be employed full time in a conventional sense, you don't get to see how things work on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So we kept it going. It wasn't doing as well as I hoped it would. So I guess that would be a big learning point. I've listened to your podcasts, and I've heard one of the interviews that you've had with one of our friends, and she was saying that her main challenge as a freelancer was having too many commitments.
Yeah.
And that she should have just stuck with one, or she should have just prioritized one or two. And I agree with that. Entrepreneurship is not that different, because you're also selling yourself. You're using what you know to make money or to make it work for you, rather than selling what you know so others can use it for their business. So instead of letting others use your skill set, you're using your skill set to make your business run. That's how I see it anyway.
But I agree.
But yeah, I think that was my challenge, and I feel like I share the same challenge, just wanting to do too many things. Or I think I was really young, so I wasn't really sure how to do things. So it was a long learning process. Even until now, I feel like I'm still learning. So
we all do for sure. So that's nice to know, guys. If you're still young, if we have our listeners right now who's listening to us, now they think, no, I'm still young, I'm still in 18 or 20, and I can't start a business. Just start. Just start. Just start before you're ready. So look at Tanya. She started something, and then along the way, she had some failures, but she learned from it. Right? She learned from it. Your failures are actually your tuition to success, right? So that's the only way for you to actually know firsthand when you experience it. For our third question, what was your biggest failure in being an entrepreneur, and how did you overcome it? And you can also tell us, what lessons have you learned from this failure?
Or wanting two things at the same time and being half and half has always been a recurring issue for me. So recently, I have been into selling goods online, and then that's been doing well. But then a lot of your friends will come up to you, seeing that it's going well. A lot of people are excited for you, and they come up to you and say, "Hey, why don't you try expanding it and selling other things?" And they have so many suggestions sometimes, and it's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And my attitude of like, "Yeah, okay, let's try that. It doesn't hurt." Sometimes I feel like that works against me in a way, because I've been focused on online selling pre-loved jewelry for some time, and then I wanted to try selling other things as well. So when I did that one didn't really take off as well, because at the time I was working as a full-time government employee, selling online. And I feel like a third one was a bit challenging. And I find a lot of similarities between that experience and the experience I had like in my 20s, in a way that you're being spread too thin, and you sort of in and out, you're half and half.
Yeah.
Or you don't have full mastery of what you have in front of you at the moment. So it's kind of, I guess the lesson I learned was that if you want to do something and you want to do something right, you gotta focus on that first. You gotta master it. You can't be like, oh, I'll be jack of all trades for all these things for now. But nah, it's harder to do it that way rather than just focus on one thing and then master that. And then when you can do that with your eyes closed, then you can start on something else. Because even when you're not looking, you can look at what's going on the other side. So I think that was my main lesson, is just to focus and learn about it as much as I can.
I really like it, Hans. I totally agree with you. Focus is really important, and I have a similar experience as well with that one. It's really important to focus on one thing, because what happens with entrepreneurship? So I've created this X business, and then it's working well. There are people that will suggest, "Hey, why don't you do this?" If you remember, Tans, because I have a business back in the Philippines, right? It's the Discover Mount Apo. It's the climbing Mount Apo in the Philippines. So I started that. The service that we offer is just climbing Mount Apo. And then some of my friends suggested, hey, why won't you also offer other services like Surigao, Tubing, Samal Island, and something like that? And then, it's interesting, right? So I tried to incorporate it to the business, the Samal, etc., Surigao. But then I haven't been there, like to Surigao. I haven't been there to all those things that we're trying to offer about, I don't know, a thing or two. I don't know the first thing about Surigao or whatever. So it's really hard.
That's really hard, yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to like market or sell it or include it even in these services or packages. So I told my team, hey, why won't we just go back to basic and focus on one thing? Okay, we have to go back to the root of everything. We removed all the other services that we have and then just focus on Mount Apo. And then that's it. It's actually a lot better when we started to just focus on one thing. Guys, listen. Tanya said, focus on one thing. And I totally agree with that, Tans, as in.
It's a lesson you keep learning because you keep making the mistake of saying yes to good ideas, but not all good ideas are good for you, right?
So as Robert Kiyosaki said, guys, focus. So the meaning of focus, according to Robert, it's follow one course until successful. So it doesn't mean like literally course that you have to follow. What does it mean is that you have to follow first one project, one business, one skill, and then focus on it until you're successful. Like what Tanya said, until then that you can already close your eyes while doing it. Then that's the time that you can actually move and jump to another venture, because you've already proven to yourself that this business model works. Then okay, I can go ahead and replicate another one, right? So that's a very nice experience, Tanya. But I know we both learned it in a very hard way, right?
I think it's a necessary lesson to learn.
Yeah.
So if you're curious about the Super Freelancers course, which is a course for Filipino freelancers on how to fast track your freelancing career in 21 steps, we have something for you as our podcast listener. Please go to articleanddesign.com/enroll-here to be the first to know when we launch and get 500 pesos discount code on the upcoming course. This is exclusive for our podcast listeners only. So thanks for taking your time.
Next question, Tanya. I'm very interested with this one. What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a career or industry similar to yours?
To set limits. Set limits for yourself. Since I started selling jewelry online, there are so many people that message you throughout the day, and it's about anything. So you have to have your own schedule. Being Pinoy, we like to give out extras because Filipinos like getting extras. So when I say extras, that's extra service, freebies, discounts, or whatever. You have to know them. And when you have to take risks, it has to be calculated. So there has to be a limit as to how much you can afford to lose. Yeah. So if you're investing your money on something, say, because for me, I resell jewelry, you have to know how much you want to start with and how much you can lose without getting into the negatives. Yeah. So you have to know your physical limits and your mental limits and your financial limits and the limits and the scope of your business. So it goes back to being focused again and to trying to keep it small, but growing it. It'll take care of itself if you're doing a couple of things, if you're covering the basics right. Because if you're tired, if you don't set limits and you're tired, you can't give good customer service.
Exactly.
So, and then you can't think well. you can't do the maths well. I've done this. This is a bad one. So when I'm tired in the middle of the night and you just want to close the sale, it's so bad.
You're not making
My
good
brain
decisions.
is really bad. I've lost so much money because of that. But that's a different lesson. Let me explain it in this way. So let's say you're really tired and then you're really bad at maths. And then it's a bad combination if you're replying to somebody at 12 in the evening because you want to close the sale. Well, it's good. You have to check if you're tired. Because if not, then you have to stick to that physical limit. Otherwise, you're going to give them bad invoice.
That feels like, for me, a very personal experience, Stanza. I feel sorry for you.
But yeah, no, I'm joking. I do agree. I still stand by what I said. Just set your limit.
As also one of our interview with Ella, she mentioned something about boundaries, setting boundaries as well.
Yeah,
as a freelancer, because Ella is a freelance writer for over 10 years now. One lesson that she learned is actually you have to honor your boundaries. You have to set limits, honor your boundaries, or something like that. So in parallel with the entrepreneurship, Tanya is really right. You have to set limits physically, financial, and be aware of the scope creeps, right? Whether we like it or not, there are other people that will actually be kind of abusing your customer service, your extra customer service support that you're giving. But when you create an online shop or online business, or you're selling something, it's also important to set up limits. Filipino clients tend to question a lot of things, even the trivial ones that you can actually find on the website, or you can actually find on the post itself. Because I have a staff answering the messages from the Facebook page. So my staff told me that, hey, Margaret, I think I wanted to have a break today. He said burnt out daw siya dun sa Facebook Messenger. A lot of clients are asking questions that are actually seen on the post itself. It's a counterintuitive, ano? Kasi sometimes, you've got to actually really answer for you to have to offer best customer service. But you have to like put a limit in a way that, okay, when the client questions how much is the price, so you can tell the client the price is posted on in this one or this page. So you can direct the client to go there, right? Yeah. So it's actually one way of adding limits, guys. We want the people to offer a nice customer service, right, to clients. But sometimes you have to really set boundaries, set limits, set templates of answers, etc. So that hindi ka naman umabot sa magdamagan na kayong back and forth nagme-message para lang ma-close mo yung sale.
Do you think that behavior of like Filipinos tending to ask a lot of questions to the point that sometimes you feel like they haven't read the
post,
the information?
Yeah.
Do you think that has a lot to do with the fact that Filipinos are not as used or as adept to online sales or online shopping, online businesses in general? Do you think that has a lot to do with the fact that they're not used to, making online transactions? I think a lot of Filipinos are still used to doing business face to face, and they still prefer to do business face to face. So tell us your thoughts, because we would like to answer this question, but we would like to.
Yeah, guys, you can answer it. Please let us know. We will post Tanya's question para you get reminded of her question. So when we release this podcast or this episode, guys, please, if you have an answer to why that is happening, please let us know. So Tans, what is the common myth about your profession or industry that you want to debunk?
That online selling isn't real selling because it won't make you enough money. A lot of people see online selling as a side bit, sideline, or people say racket, which is true for in many cases. But I feel like I reached a point where I was actually making a lot more money on an online page than my salary. So I felt like, this is something that you can actually do full time, and it's not just, it doesn't have to be limited to being side bit or racket or sideline. You can do it full time, but you need to have your maths correctly. So you need to have your accounting done right, and then you need to be running it right. That's one thing I need to debunk.
I like what you mentioned, Tans, that there was a time that your online selling profit is higher than your employment salary. Because most of us thought that when you start a business and we start selling online, akala natin na yun na, forever lang siya talagang side gig. Probably you're just earn 1,000 or 2,000 a month pesos. Hindi siya abot na like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. and all sorts. Ganun. You're right. What do you mean by that? When you are actually employed, yung salary mo is kung ano lang talaga yung agreement yun na employer mo, di ba? For example, your salary at 50,000 per month. So, ganun lang talaga yung magiging sweldo mo. Whereas, when you have a business, you have the chance uh, earn 100,000 a month or 100,000 in a week or even 100,000 in a day, diba? So yun yung difference niya sa employment and when you're running your own business. Your profit will be unlimited. It can be unlimited because it depends. It depends on the sales environment or your sales at that point. So yeah, I like what you said. That don't just like stigmatize it to just a side hustle. It's just a side hustle. Hey, you have a legitimate business. When you have an Instagram and you're selling something, actually you have a legitimate business.
So Maya and I just talk about these things so you don't feel like you're alone. Because sometimes people just aren't that open to talk about what they've done with their side hustle or how they transition from full-time conventional work or jobs to being freelancers and doing something that they're passionate about or pursuing creative things that they really wanted to do. What Maya and Candice are doing it's a really good thing because it doesn't make you feel alone, and it should remind you that it's okay.
One of our mission, Tans, is actually to let them know things from our experiences as well. We're not saying that okay, we're perfect, so we're gods of like freelancing and entrepreneurship. What we're trying to show people is okay, this is what happened to us. You may get a thing or two, a lesson, a thing or two from here, or actually, if you have a similar experience, then it's okay actually to make a mistake. To fail, and that's fine. Basically, we're all in this together. In line with that, can you leave us with your favorite quote or any personal mantra to help motivate our fellow freelancers here and creative entrepreneurs or those who are aspiring to start an online selling business?
Well, on a daily basis, what I really need is just two things. Number one is really just be nice to your customer. As a seller, you can't say, I don't need you. Because you're a seller, you need customers. Without customers, you're not a seller. You're just a person with goods. Even if it's really silly. I saw something on Facebook where this sneaker seller had photos of customers sending him pictures of their feet and asking what size they think they should get. It's funny, right? It's a similar experience. I had a similar experience where a lady was asking me what bracelet she should get, and then she shows me a picture of her wrist. And it's funny, but it is what it is, It's some you don't really know what they were thinking when they did it. Maybe they were really thinking of something else. It was super absorbed in pretty things, in imagining pretty things on their feet or their wrists. But you can't reply to them and make them feel bad. Because they are your customers. They are. You need them. Customer is not always right, but you always need your customers. So just be nice.
You have to nurture them. You have to build a relationship with them. Your loyal fans after it.
They'll keep coming back. Knowing because every time they know that they're gonna get they're gonna be treated as human beings and not
exactly.
So that's the first one, and the second one is to just try it. Failing at certain things is okay. You'll never know unless you try it. You won't know what to do, how to do it, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong if you don't try. You can't say that, I'm not going to do this because my friend failed. Well, you're just going to try it because you might actually know a thing or two and you might actually make it work.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So just start before you're ready. So
I think if I didn't get my business permit when I was in 20-something, I don't think my mind would have opened up to a whole set of possibilities.
So guys, two things Tanya said. First, be nice to your customers or clients. As Amazon, Jeff Bezos said, the priority of Amazon, it's like, wow, it's the largest like business in the whole world, right? So Jeff Bezos said is they're actually investing so much on customer experience, right? They wanted to bring nurture. They wanted to take care of their customers. The customers are giving them money, right? That's why they're Amazon right now. So Tanya is right, guys. Be nice to your customers. And second, guys, Tanya said, just try. Whatever you're thinking of doing right now, it may be opening a shop or opening an Instagram to sell your illustrations, or you're doing crafts, handiworks, etc. Whatever you're thinking of doing right now, just try it. Just try. Just try. Just start. Because you don't know, you might end up loving it, right?
Yeah.
I really like it, Tanya. So this is like practical tips that it's actionable, that they can just try it, do it now. Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, good stuff.
Good stuff. Our last question is where can our listeners connect with you, Tans, online or wherever, and what project you'd like us to check out?
So I have my online jewelry shop, and then I have a plant page that I'm trying to start working on that, and then you can reach me through Instagram at Plant Your Enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just Plant Your Enthusiasm. So you can find me. You can reach out to me there. So if you have questions, whatever questions really, if I think I can answer it, I'll try. The other project that I'm hoping to get into in the future is to more serious things like visas and migration, but that's still in the works. Mm-hmm. So yeah, hopefully we will hear from you again when that works out.
Yeah, come back in the podcast then.
Yeah. Oh, if you have a channel where people can ask questions, then yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That'll be good. I'd be happy to answer questions if it's not math.
All right. So guys, we will leave the links where you can connect with Tanya's projects, especially the Plant Your Enthusiasm. And if her other ventures is also already live during the podcast release, so we will also add that one. For now, you can go check out the Plant Your Enthusiasm on Instagram, and you can ask Tanya anything about plants. So we can ask you, Tanya, about what's the name of the plant? Can we show you the plant?
Sure. Anything really.
Yeah.
No, I'm just happy to make friends and all that.
Yeah, just go to your Instagram account, guys. We will add the link and just drop there and say hi to Tanya, right? So yeah. So Tanya, wow. Thank you so much
thank you
for this episode.
No, but it's like, thank you for coming up with this great idea, where people can pick up a couple of things. So I learned from you, learned from me type thing, bridging people together. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Yeah, you guys are onto something good here.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you for giving me some of your time.
Well, thank you for being here, and we look forward to have you here often as you can. So yeah, Tans, thank you so much for the inputs. I'm sure our listeners will learn a lot because you've experienced quite a lot. So thank you so much for your honest and valuable lessons. And you guys, Tanya, I'm so thankful that she made time today. And of course, although we live in the same country right now, we're not seeing each other because of the lockdown. So this is also one way of actually expressing ourselves and our disappointment of not seeing each other. So yeah, thank you so much for your inputs, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast.
If you enjoyed it, please take a second to leave a review over Apple Podcasts.
And be sure to check out our courses at A&D Creative Lab.
You can find our courses at articleanddesign.com and go to the Creative Lab.
You can also join our Facebook group, Article and Design, Super Freelancers PH.
Oh, be part of our 1 million mission, transforming 1 million Filipino freelancers into super freelancers. See ya!